G'day, my name's John Wilson. I'm the former President of Trades Hall Council in Canberra. I want to have a short monologue discussion with those people that come to my channel and just to let them know where things are up to. Everyone on my channel would be feeling very worn out, very battle fatigued, and a lot of them may have lost communications with former friends and family even. This war for humanity's taken a huge toll on everybody. The vaccine war that's been going on, the genocide, the body count has been horrendous to witness and to live through. And I wanted to pass on my thoughts to everyone about the state of play and where I think things are up to. Look, Derek Johnson, a US former military younger guy, younger than me, I think is the sole credible source on this intel, and his intel that he researches and puts up on social media has had many millions of views so far. But Derek Johnson, look him up, check him out. Derek Johnson sets out in great detail, well-researched material, and he confirms that there is a global military operation underway, and it has been underway for quite some time, so the last couple of years. That military operation was triggered by President Donald Trump via several executive orders that he issued whilst he occupied the presidential role, and that Congress was supposed to respond to with time limits, and they never did, and then hence that led to a triggering of a military involvement in the affairs of the United States. Secondly, Derek very accurately and succinctly points out that there's two roles in America. One is the President of the United States, and the separate role is that there is a Commander-in-Chief. Now, Joe Biden, or whoever Biden is, we're not quite sure at this stage, and President Trump, the clear difference is President Trump is the Commander-in-Chief of the United States military, and the United States military is in partnership, in collaboration with quite a number of other militaries all around the world. Okay, so this is a global military operation going down, which is geared to take down the global crime syndicates that are commonly referred to as the cabal. Okay, now given that being the case, it is now safe to assume that Australia is going to be wrapped up, or is wrapped up, in all of this. That soon we are going to be seeing a military presence in Australia, and that military presence is going to lead to a martial law, and when that comes, there's going to be a lot of deep state actors and bad actors in Australia, which are going to be taken off the streets and dealt with not via courts and civilian jurisdictions, but by military jurisdictions, which are nice and fast, very efficient, and they're very good at handing out appropriate punishments. Now, I think that's where we're heading, okay? But in the meantime, until that comes and fully manifests, in the meantime, there's still a lot of pain that we're going through. The pain that you're feeling now, the distress that you're going through, is largely due that there is two worlds colliding, okay? We have our world, our reality, that's all of us cookers, and our world is based on truth, it's based on facts, it's based on research, it's based on real history, real science, real medicine, okay? And then we have the normies, and the normies world is all based on lies, on fraud, on deceit, and deception. So these two worlds are colliding. Okay, they're clanging and bashing up against each other, and you'll see it in family, neighbours, friends, workmates, and nationally. Okay, you'll see it happening. Now, those two worlds are colliding, and right in the middle we have a big seam of deep state actors that are trying to keep us separate. They don't want us being the truth-telling cooker community, all of us. They don't want us getting access to the normies and passing on all of our research and all of our information to awaken them. They're doing everything they can to roadblock and redivert and to gatekeep and to infiltrate, you name it. They're throwing everything at us, and it's not working. We are overwhelming the opposition. We are overwhelming them, and our numbers are growing every day. The researchers within the freedom movement, all of us, our skills base and our analytics is getting better and better and better. 5 or 6 years ago, we were pretty rough and there was very few of us, but not now. Not now. We now have hundreds of thousands of us who are now very, very skilled at researching and collaborating and unearthing the lies and exposing the frauds. And we're getting much better at it. Now, the other thing in trying to pass that information on to the normies, you've got to remember, you've got to take this into account, that we have a whole population of Australia which have been deeply traumatised, okay, deeply traumatised. Putting aside vax injury, that in itself has been a nightmare, and that in itself has done enormous psychological damage to those victims and those casualties. But leaving that, the lockdowns, the separations of families and all the hardship, the loss of jobs, it has traumatised all of us here in Australia. I've been traumatised by this stuff. And so it's not easy passing on information and education to a nation that's been deeply traumatised. So you need to understand that, and you need to take that into account. But we are gaining momentum. Now, a couple of things. The corporate media, that they are just beyond the pale now, beyond the pale with their lies and deceptions. And I want to just give you one example, is Canberra 1 year ago. Now, I don't know who else in Australia has done this, but I have, and I speak from first-hand testimony. I personally have chaired and organised a mass stoppage of trade unionists at Parliament House, and there was 50,000 of those trade unionists in attendance, okay? Now, I know the sound and the look and the feel of a crowd of 50,000 people. Now, the corporate media and all of their toadies, the cooker watcher toadies that hang off the corporate media, okay, they're saying there was lucky to be 10,000, right? You understand? Now, I personally have chaired meetings and gatherings of 50,000, several of them in Canberra, several, not one, several of them. So I know what it looks like and feels like. And I know what the size of that crowd feels like, okay? Now, in Canberra, 1 year ago, there was at least 15 times more than I've ever chaired, at least. And that's before I lost count. That's before. There was much, much more. There was at least 750,000 that I could count. You got me. You got me. I'm not saying there was I'm saying more. But I can tell you now, the 10,000 figure, the 10,000 lie that they produce, is just a fraud. They are right off the leash, the corporate media. They're buried, mate. They're buried. They're not going to survive this. Every single one of those entities that hooked their wagon to the big pharma train, okay, which includes government, it includes corporate media, it includes the medical profession, it includes the trade unions who hook their carriage up to the train, and others, many others, right? They are finished. They're not going to survive this. The backlash that's coming for these people is going to be unstoppable. Unstoppable. Okay. So hang in there, Australians. Hang in there, all of those people that drop into my channel. I want you to know. You go and Google and study the Fabian war tactics, right? You need to understand who our enemy is and what tactics they're employing against us. This is a psychological war. It's a fifth generation, General Michael Flynn, psychological war, and they're employing Fabian war tactics. And Fabian war tactics are meant to convince you that you're losing. They are meant to grind you down. They are meant to sap your morale. They are meant to cripple you with fear, right? Now that's the tactics they're using against us. Don't fall for it. It's they themselves, the Fabians themselves, the trade unions, the ALP, the body politic. It's they themselves now which are being bled dry. They themselves that have been weakened. They themselves are being shown to be much weaker and smaller than us, okay? But they're trying to convince us. They're trying to project the opposite. Don't listen to them. We're on a winning team here, guys. All of us, we're on a winning team. 2023, I know you're tired. I know you're worn out. But 2023 is when we go for gold, okay? We go for gold. We take the lot. We didn't make the bet in this war. The cabal, the World Economic Forum, the central bankers put the bet on the table. And what is the bet? It's for everything. All the marbles. All the marbles. If they win, they enslave humanity forever. And they murder billions of us to lessen their burden. That's their game. That's what they've put on the table. Now, if they don't get up, if we win, we take everything off them. Everything. All of our stolen wealth. All of our stolen history, hidden history. All of our hidden technologies, new fuel. All of these medical cures that they've taken. Everything that the Patents Office has been designed to hide from us. We take the lot off them. Thank you.